right. We're back again. What is going on, everybody? I'm here today with the MagicX One35. This is their new horizontal and vertical handheld. So it has two D-pads. Look at this. It goes both ways. That's what she said. Last night, we did an unboxing of this on our podcast. So I'm going to refer to that. I'll add that in the description later. And if you want to see sort of the initial first raw thoughts, but I'll go ahead and summarize that today, as well as I've been testing all day. I've been trying out all the different use cases, and it's a pretty versatile device with a G85 CPU inside this. And Sony, let's pull up the specs. We got producer Sony here with me today in a solo stream. So it has the MediaTek Helio G85, and this plays up to some lightweight PS2, some lightweight GameCube, some lightweight PS Vita, and a few others, as well as like pretty damn good DS. And it's cool because you can put it in a vertical mode for DS, which is really interesting. I've not seen that before. So you can kind of one-hand DS. That was blowing my mind a few minutes ago. Also, it's a 3:2 aspect ratio screen, so great for GBA. And it has two sets of controls, so there's a switcher to kind of toggle that. But we're early days in the software, and there is some jank and some software bugs to work out in the Dawn Launcher software here. So we'll get into everything that we've uncovered here, along with our researchers in the RH Discord who kind of helped me today as we've gone through together and figured out, okay, well, let's try this, let's try that. Oh, this isn't working. Okay. So I think this is going to be, we're exploring new territory here. So this is really exciting what they've done. But as far as specs go, yeah, we got the CPU, which gives us two A75 processors at 2 gigahertz here, or sorry, 2 cores, plus 6X A55 at 1.8 gigahertz. GPU is going to be that ARM Mali-G52 MC2 at 1000 megahertz. RAM is going to be 4 gigabytes of LPDDR4X. And that's the 4 gigabyte model I have here. They also have a 3 gigabyte model, although that's not up for sale at the moment. Storage in this one's going to be 64 gigs eMMC 5.1 internal. The 3 gig model has a 32 gig, and you can put up to a 512 gigabyte microSD card. Right now, I have a 128 SanDisk Ultra card that the brand MagicX sent for review here. With this, I'm going to try a 2 terabyte card, not today, but soon, just for science. And display on this is a 3.5-inch 960 by 640 IPS multi-touch, 500 nits, they say, for max brightness here. And again, that is 3:2 aspect ratio, which is super cool. I was not expecting that. Kind of just an added bonus. So I'm going to compare to some other GBA-style handhelds for under $100 price point area. Well, around that price point, because we were looking at, under $100. In fact, if you pre-ordered this early, you were getting this as cheap as $60, which is something that can do up to some PS2 and some Vita for that price point. Anywhere 60 to 100 is a great value. So already I'm just coming away with, I'm just YouTube shilling this one. I think that's what they call it, right? I'm just happy with it. It's just neat. I haven't always been happy with MagicX's stuff, though. Their XU10, when they first came out the gate, wasn't always a fan of that. And some of these other ones, while I appreciated them, they were a little small for my eyeballs, but each iteration gets better and better. So we have the XU Mini M here, and then they moved on to the XU28, which was getting pretty cool. And then they came out with this one, the MagicX Zero40, which was their DS style, which also is like a vertical DS screen, but it had the controls on the side. So this is more like it's more like not even a huge evolution of this handheld, but it's this handheld as a horizontal with more power under the hood. So it's really interesting. Now, this one I picked up from AliExpress recently for our AliExpress sponsor for the podcast. So we're going to unbox this early. I was going to unbox this in January, but I want to compare with the Zero40. And this is the new green model. So I figure that'd be fun. Let's take a look while we're here. So they had that. And now they're coming along with this 135, which I was not really following that closely. And then it showed up for review. And I was like, all right, here's something we'll look at in the podcast. And then as I started to use it, I'm like, oh, this feels good. It's lightweight. It kind of hits all the right spots for me. And it's shaping up to be a great everyday carry handheld. Like, it just feels comfortable to use in TATE mode or in regular mode. It doesn't get that hot even when you're pushing it. It has a little air vent. It doesn't have active cooling. Get a passive air hole there for that. We'll take a look at temps. It's just kind of impressing me. You got other handhelds in that sector, though, for GBA. If you want to go primo premium, you can look at this Aya Neo. They have this Pocket Micro here, Pocket Micro Classic. And yeah, awesome for GBA. Nice screen, although this definitely holds its own for screen quality. More in the price bracket of this, you got Anbernic's offering of the 34XX, which also is the 3x2, and then their 5-head clamshell, the 34XX SPs. These are some other options. Even Powkitty came out with one, the Powkitty V10, which I appreciate that they did this. This was a unique little handheld. Okay. All that aside, let's go ahead and look at this thing. Live chat, you hear me, you see me. How you doing out there tonight? Mr. Claw. Hey, Go Tanks. Hey, thanks again for those corn dogs, Korean corn dogs last night, man. Really appreciate that. I ate those tater tots you got me for lunch today. That was awesome. You fed me twice. Okay. Let's see here. So I'm going to be just kind of, again, summarizing thoughts as I've been using this today. First thing I wanted to cover was the charging. So, the battery life on this has been pretty good. We're starting at 100% here on the stream, and we did some benchmarks and all that, and I tried to drain the battery and push it and see where we're at. And then it charged back up really fast. So it charged back up, I don't know, from maybe 70% to 100% in, 30 minutes maybe? 30, 45 minutes. And it takes a 9.3 watt charge. That's the most that it'll charge at. So if you wanted to know, is that fast charging? It's fairly fast charging. And the battery drain was looking pretty good. As far as what the G85 can do, there's 3 modes for it in here. So you have this performance mode, the default schedutil mode, and then the power save mode. I found in the power save mode, it is not very happy, and I think the RAM is the constraint there because this has Play Store on it and Play Services. So when I have the RAM, or when I have the power save mode enabled, the Play Store would crash on me almost every time, and a few other places as well around the OS. Schedutil or performance, no problem. Play Store works well. So I'm going to keep in this mode. And I went ahead and configured the emulators. So each one, you can set with Dawn Launcher here, you can set what you want. So with MAME, you can go into the, it's touchscreen, by the way. You can go into the settings there and you can tell it, hey, which CPU mode do you want on this by default? Let's go ahead and turn this down a little bit. And you can say, default settings, power saving, balance, performance, which I appreciate that you can do that because I kind of know, okay, if I'm going to be doing MAME, probably the default's okay, depending on the game. GameCube, yeah, you're going to want to do performance, so you can just set the whole library, or you can even do it per game, which is cool. As far as performance on the different platforms, so on GameCube, we're looking pretty good as far as 2D games go. You are going to need to under-res on some stuff. Beware that in F-Zero GX as a game, you're not going to hit full speed no matter what you do. They're using MMJR2, the 1.21 version. It's called It's called Dolphin for Handheld. So it's that fork of it. It's basically, they pre-optimized this as much as you really can for this chipset, using a lot of the same settings that I would use. So I found myself not needing to tweak much of anything from how they have it set by default. And there's a bunch of systems on here. So if you buy it with the SD card, it'll come with the games. I assume that's on this card. So if you want to know what's on there, we'll take a look as we go. Also, bear with me. I'm a little under the weather today. So I'm going to get through this and drink lots of liquid. Once again, producer Sony, this is water in the mason jar. And Game Boy Advance. So the screen is perfect for Game Boy Advance, and we're getting a clean 60 hertz. I went ahead and did the vertical refresh rate tester. And let's see. I think I probably still have that up even. Yeah, so we're looking good there. I even tried streaming on this earlier. And that was interesting. So streaming, I don't recommend this for streaming, okay? It's not going to be the best use case. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a video of me streaming it. Where did I put that, Sony? Let's see. Loading. There we go. Oh, it caught my sound effect. Good. So as you can see there, we are looking at decode times. Unfortunately, not looking great there at about 13 to 13.5 milliseconds, all the way up to 15. At best, we were getting at 12 millisecond decode. You're going to want to get under 13 at a minimum to not have input latency, noticeable input latency issues. So it's not going to be great for like FPS games, but for platformers, it's okay. And especially for RPGs or puzzle games, it's going to be fine. That's okay, but it's not ideal. Similar handhelds in the price bracket, like the MAME AirX, which is a great option, widescreen handheld. That was looking at 11.5 millisecond decode, so a little bit better, but neither one of those is really ideal for that use case. Oh, you know what? One other thing. Things are heating up in this price category because we also have, I just unboxed this yesterday, the Ioneo Pocket Air Mini, which is another one that kind of competes with this. It's in the other room, but I haven't evaluated it yet, so I don't want to compare it too much today. But maybe we'll grab that. And then also, while kind of summarizing my experience, 3D Mark. Here's the scores I got for it. So nothing to write home about. It is the G85, meaning that it's going to be under what the G90 is, under, of course, what the G99 is, and G88 and all that. But best loop score we got under the extreme stress test. So 20 loops through, we got 192 for best. Lowest loop, we got 189 with a 98.4% stability, which is awesome. Really damn solid stability. Thermals were looking really good for this chip. It seems to be pretty power efficient. So here's what we're looking at for that. Battery drained from 90% to 84%. And the test took at least 20 minutes. On this handheld, it took like maybe 25, maybe 20, 25, 28 minutes. It was a while. And the temperature stayed really consistent, 31 to 32 degrees Celsius. And you can see just stable as a table right there. So I love to see that. And I don't expect really high-end performance out of this chipset to begin with. So just stability I will take all day long over just wild, crazy, unhinged jumps in the frame rates up and down. So who's talking for me in chat? It's producer Sony. Hey, what's up, man? Shocking Stubbs for 2026. Yeah, that's right. I learned a thing or two as we go along here. I see what's going on. Hey, here's Andrew. Remember him? Okay. Very good. So that's just kind of a brief overview of what we're looking at today. If you want maybe some button comparisons, we were doing a little bit of that last night, but let's real quick go over that. So you got rubber membrane face buttons and D-pad in here. These two D-pads are matched. They're exactly the same. And the pivot is really nice on them. And so far in my testing, we're not getting false diagonal issues. And this is the same stick they've been using for a little while. It looks like the one from the Zero40, but I wanted to confirm. I couldn't confirm that yesterday because I don't have my Zero40, but I have this new green one. So we will take a look. Let's just open this. All right, ASMR time. You guys ready for this? Slow. Open the box. Oh, it's upside down. Okay. You like that sound? Okay. Ooh, look at that. So this was sent over from AliExpress, which is the Ampone shop is where this one came from. And, you know, this is around, what, 70, 80 bucks right now. We have coupons I'll add to the description for this, but the 040 is neat. It's a DS-style handheld, and it does the vertical thing, so it splits down the middle. So basically, this becomes this when you turn it vertical, which is cool. And look, okay, so it was. My recollection was pretty close, because look, it does have the same joystick, and it looks like, yes, it's the same D-pad too. And face buttons, which would make sense to save money. Same parts. Different shoulders. I like that color, though. That pops. This joystick style does pop off, so you can put replacements on, like maybe some hype sticks or other third parties. Quiet face buttons, quiet D-pad, clicky joystick. You do have a little bit louder clicky top buttons. And you have the addition, when you turn it vertical, of having this left and right, which you could use for things like pinball. I don't find it very comfortable myself, so I default to having just, you know, A and B for my pinball buttons, for my flippers. But you definitely could, and they're there if you want to use them. You got USB-C up top, which I meant to try video out. I don't think that's going to work, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to do that before we go today. How about that? And you have divots here for your inline shoulders. Look at that cute little divot, L2 and R2. Ah, nice. And you have an air vent here. And one thing I didn't mention yesterday is there's this kind of nice gritty plastic, which is just a little bit of grippiness, and it kind of feels satisfying there. You also have headphone out, which is nice. The speakers are nothing to write home about. They're not very good speakers. They're serviceable. You can hear the games, but it's not the best feature there. So I would use the headphone out if you have a good pair of headphones. Just do that. And this does have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi too. So you get Wi-Fi 5 and you get Bluetooth, I think 5.0. So that's going to be good. And you can, you know, pair controllers or earbuds with it. But downfiring speakers, fine, good, whatever. That's fine. You start and select on the right there. Minimal bezel around the screen, which is nice. It's not too bad. And the screen itself, like I was saying, does pop. Other handhelds that are similar, again, are going to be this Ioneo Pocket Micro Classic. And I would say the D-pad wins here on the MagicX. This is a bit shallow. It works well, but it's just kind of squishy. I don't know. The face buttons are nice on this, and this is very premium feeling. Kind of, you know, it digs into your palms a little bit. I don't always love that, but it's just a very sleek, sexy, GBA-focused Android device here. And this is the Helio, I think, G99 in it, so this will perform a bit better. Quite a bit better, right? Also, if you wanted to see, here's the 34XX. A little bit thicker, smaller D-pad. I don't love the D-pad on this as much, but it does mimic the original, you know, GBA. Bambernick always has nice face buttons. I appreciate that. Powkitty is offering is kind of an interesting flat D-pad, not the best. Face buttons are okay. The screen was nice on this. But the issue with this one was it was so easy to click the shoulder buttons. My dog's hairs is on there. So easy to click the shoulder buttons that I kept having accidental inputs. So I didn't end up using that one too much. Not a Game Boy Advance handheld, but something that's similar and honestly adorable is the 28XX. Another one of those H700 devices from Bambernick. Which is, I love this for just like NES games, or I beat Captain Skyhawk on there. That was fun. Another horizontal I enjoy in the sub-$100 bracket is going to be, for me, this is not everyone's favorite. Rob is like, well, no, definitely not. And I'm like, yeah, come on. Game Kitty GKD bubble. I just like this. It's my little Genesis handheld. There's a look at that. Oh, we need the AirX, don't we? And let me go get Sony. Do you want to pull up the product page if people want to see where they can get this? So if you want to get this, you can go to magicx.team. The link is in our description, of course, and you can get it for the 4 gigabyte model with 64 gigs internal with no SD card for $85 before shipping, or 128 gig if you want the card that came in here with all the games. That's $105. And it just, if you get it with the games, yeah, you can just turn it on and yes, it'll just start working. It launches into the Dawn launcher. You pick your games, you play your games. But we'll need some OTA updates, and I've already reported back my findings with some bugs that we've uncovered today to the team over at MagicX. So hopefully they get that fixed before people get their units, or there's a quick OTA that people can run. Because there are a few funky things, as you'll see. This comes in black, this comes in blue, this comes in gray. And the one I bought, my retail unit, I paid for the blue one, and it looks awesome. I can't wait for that to show up. And these are shipping right now. So if you order one, I would expect yours should be shipping pretty darn quick here. And I haven't heard of anyone needing to pay tariffs. So that seems to be kind of built into the shipping price as far as I can tell. Speaking as someone from the US. Okay, I'm going to go... Oh, yeah. Check that out on the screen there. I'm going to go get a few more handhelds, and I'll be right back. Sony, maybe let's get some of that fun music. Oh, you're already ahead of me. I don't... All right. Now let's keep the music rock. I like that. That helps when I'm doing this solo. Before I forget, you want to see if video out works? I want to see if video out works. Well, I didn't expect this to work. And I didn't see any options for it, so no video out. But before we finish up those comparisons, let's check the weight. $193, which in the grand scheme of things, it's damn lightweight. One of my favorite things compared to the 040, which is also lightweight. In fact, it seems to be a little bit less, 189. 34XX right there as well, 186. And there's what I wanted to grab, the Pocket Air Mini from Ioneo, which is $272, so about 100 grams more there. The metal Premium Micro Classic 226. Let's throw a non-hammer brick 157. And here's the other one I wanted to show you, the MAME RX, which is the overall recommend probably for most YouTubers right now for the price point under $100. That has a Snapdragon 662 chip in here, so this is cooking. 281 on there. We never did get to see the Action Pi, but why not? 222 grams. And Pow Kitty 163. Oh, the lightest of the bunch. Well, there you go. Where are my manners here? Here's the 34XX SP 176. I guess this really is maybe the overall winner for weight. Right. So, hey, how you doing? You with me? Hey, if you like this channel and you like what we've been doing here, or this is your first time, we do have a subscribe button. You don't really have to press it. We're trying to hit 100K. That's our goal. That's our fun little metric where all the people on the channel here, we can be like, yeah, we're now YouTubers officially. I think that's the thing, right? So this is quite a bit smaller than the MAME, and I think really that's a benefit for the 135 is you're getting up into the range of performance that you can do with the MAME. You're starting to creep in there, but with a nice small form factor and with a 3x2 display, which they call the golden aspect ratio. So you're going to be looking good for integer scaling, for 4x3 and 3x2, of course, looks good there. And it kind of does everything, right? 16:9. Text is going to be small because of that little screen, but overall it hasn't been too bad. And if you want to see what it looks like going into somebody's pocket, like mine, let's see. I have pants on. Don't worry, producer Sony. Super pocketable because look at that. Flush. This is an everyday carry right there. Carrying every day. My everyday carry most days is the Trim UI brick hammer, or the brick here. Pick your poison. You want metal? Okay. I keep losing my damn L2 button. R2, whatever. One of these days. In the end, I wasn't crazy about the Zero40 here. It's interesting. It's comfortable, but then we got, it was cool because it was a Nintendo DS focused thing. And then all of the dual screen handhelds came to market. The RGDS, the AYN Thor, even that dang 1X Sugar. Oh my God, what are they doing with the 1X Sugar wallet? I saw Bob Wolf talking about that even. What are we doing here? But this was like the first one out the gate. And then of course, Retroid's dual screen right here, which this is kind of cool, but it adds a level of jank that I don't always appreciate. So get a dedicated one. But this one, I don't know. It was small for as far as the DS goes, and you had all this body. So what I appreciate here is that on the 135, you're getting the same idea when you turn it vertical, but it's so much less body that it's just way more compact, where this kind of feels like there's a lot of extra going on here. But D-pad's good, face button's solid, joystick good, all fine. Cool. I promise we're going to play some games. Okay, compared to the Ioneo, now I haven't gotten into game testing on this yet, mind you, but the D-pad feels really good on it, and the face buttons are nice and quiet, and they feel good. This feels very premium. Also, if you can find it for the right price, under $100 as well. This came from Acnis, by the way, and they were nice enough to even engrave my name on there. I was like, what in the world? That's damn cool. So they said that they're going to be offering laser engravings for people on stuff they buy from the shop. They're probably not going to be doing logos, they said, but they can do like your name or something like this. That's just like a service they plan to offer. Love that. Definitely recommend if you're getting an INEO, get from a reseller like Acnis. Way better than ordering from INEO direct off their Indiegogo campaign anyway, which takes quite a while. Just a little bit. A little stressful. I don't need this anymore. Turn that off. Okay, what do you guys want to see? Enhance. First of all, if you want to see what Game Boy Advance looks like, thank you, Sony. Oh, let's cut the music. I'm going to switch to this. Thank you. So the speakers are crackly. Decent mid-range, but kind of sloppy high-end and no bass. That's where I'm at with the speakers. Oh, so here's one of those... Well, hold on. So here's one of those bugs I was telling you about earlier. Some systems, and I don't know if I toggled this on by accident in some way as I've been using the device, but I can't find a way out of this. GBA, GBC, and a few other systems, I think the RetroArch cores are defaulting to TATE mode controls, meaning the system expects me to be playing it like this as far as the buttons are concerned. So this D-pad gets disabled, this one's enabled, but yet it's reversed. So I can use the joystick and play like this, and it's fine. But not ideal. So I assume that's just a simple software thing. But the pixels look very nice. You could probably even load some shaders on there. Nice, crisp, vibrant screen. Let's get that ISO dialed down a little bit. There we go. Very nice screen. So here's the thing about that is you can go to the settings menu, right? Now, in some of the systems, there's an option to change your screen rotation. And if that setting were available for GBA, we could fix this, because how you switch between TATE controls and regular controls is when you go to an arcade system or something the system expects to have TATE mode as an option. We'll do arcade here. It adds this new menu item down here called screen rotation. And just tell it what you want. So there's the default, which I assume default might be horizontal. And that's how it came out of the factory. I've tried between these two, and maybe toggling that just once changed it system-wide, but I've tried shifting between all three of these, okay? And no matter what, I can't seem to come back from this currently. But it does work on arcade stuff. So I can switch this to vertical, and we can play a vertical arcade game. Maybe even a pinball game. I used to be allergic to scrolling, and I only played games in the A section, but look at me. We're in the P's. We're in the P section. Naret Chew. I don't know about that one. Anyways, let's do a vertical game. Sure. Hammer away. So there you go. It knows, hey, you want all your arcade games in vertical mode, or you can even do it per game. Now you got your start and select right here. So this tells me they put start and select here because they are thinking people mainly want to use this as a vertical device. Which is comfortable like that. It's so lightweight that you're not getting too much weight balance issues. It doesn't feel heavy. Now you have your L and R here, so you could program the buttons to use that. But as you can see, it's a little bit uncomfortable. I kind of claw grip it like this, but it's nice and comfortable to one hand, really. And then you could probably use this or maybe this. Let's get the volume going. And yeah, this is cool. It's not using the full screen here, so you could go into RetroArch and set it, which if you want to get in there, just press the home button there one time. And you can configure and customize how you want. You can do retro achievements if you want. And yeah, the button mapping stuff, so you can manually custom map and fix it that way too. But I'm thinking about this from the consumer who's going to be just buying this out of the box, playing it. We really do need to get an easy way to fix that in Dawn Launcher so it defaults for people. Because the people are going to be confused when they open up GBA and then it's mapped all funky. If you want to quit a game, go ahead and long press the same button there. Also in today's stream, we're going to be taking some game requests. So we're going to queue those up. Producer Sony's queuing those up for the end of the demonstration period here. Okay, let's look at some pinball, though. That's what I wanted to do. I think MAME should have some pinball. And what did I do for the screen rotation? Let's do vertical again. Yep. So yeah, I switched that from vertical to horizontal in there and went back to GBA and GBC, and still those systems were only working in TATE with TATE controls. I mean, what are we doing? Okay, let's get down to the P section again. This is where the pinball is. Aha! Loaded a couple on. Pinball action. I didn't load on Demon Crush. That was a missed opportunity. I really should have loaded on Demon Crush. That's the pinball game. So yeah, you can, like I was saying, you can configure L and R to do your pinball, which I think would make sense. But I don't find that too comfortable. I prefer this, so I have it like this. Okay, let's start. There we go. Ow! Turn this up. Let's let you really hear. There we go. Come on. Yeah. And you could, there's vibration motor in here and rumble and all that. So you could play Pokemon pinball. Why don't we do that? So it's kind of cool, right? That's a cool use case. I like that. Let's do GBC. Yeah, let's do Pokemon pinball. But first, I have a game that I like to play. on these live streams. It's one of my favorite games. It's called Aardvark, and it runs at 60 FPS, clean 60. Actually, it goes over 60 FPS. That's how fast the G85 is. Speed, baby. So you have this little nipple nose anteater thing. Aardvark, I guess it is. And he's got to go get the eggs. Look how long his nose is. That's silly. No, get out of there. Watch out, the little sausage mouse is going to get you. Collect all the eggs. No. No. Oh, yeah. You have to have lightning fast reflexes. Anyways, you get the picture. Pokemon Pinball. That was great. That exceeded expectations. I foiled myself, which is better than soiling myself. They didn't load Pokemon games on here by default, probably because they don't want to get sued or in trouble with Nintendo, which makes sense. So I guess we're not playing Pokemon Pinball. But you could. You definitely could. I was very excited for a second. Okay. Maybe it's in here. We've Pinball Dreams. No. How about this? Oh, Pinball. Do you want Pinball Dreams or Pinball Fantasies? I feel like Pinball Fantasies is a little bit risque. And this is a family show, but I'm here for this. Pinball Fantasies it is. Okay. Pretend this is Pokemon Pinball. This is Pokemon Pinball. We promise. Shut up, Snorlax, for the last time. My fantasies are about to come true. Now, here's the thing. So for systems like this that aren't meant to be, vertical, you can manually force vertical mode. You can go here into the quick menu and just say, flip it 90 degrees, brother. Oh, no. Oh, what? Ball 1. Ball X pit. What do we, how do we work our balls here? Nope. Don't say that. Ball malfunction. No Pinball Fantasies now. Maybe we'll have Pinball Dreams. Oh, yeah. If you want to fast forward, click in on the stick and push R2. All right. There we go. Now we want vertical. Should we be cursed and stretch this and be crazy people? Let's just be crazy for a second. You want to be crazy with me? Let's see here. No. That is cursed. Love it. Now imagine these were little Pokemons running around. No. All right, there you go. Nope. I'm not good at that game. So that just, that's something you could do. All right, I haven't looked at chat ever in this stream today. Let me look. What do you guys want to see? Little Mermaid for the GBC is a nice pinball game. Oh, really? I'm just now learning this? Oh, Little Mermaid Pinball Frenzy. Yeah, because then we can have color in our life. Good idea. That's DJ Raphael. Heck yeah. Oh, you guys, yeah, I can't wait to show you Nintendo DS. That's an absolute delight on this thing. We're gonna get there. Yeah, I like these ideas. You're all cooking. Here I am wandering into my pinball fantasies, and you had the answers all along. One of the greatest Disney soundtracks of all time. So the vibration feels really good in here, by the way. Like that, it's just enough. Just enough. No. What's the left flipper in this game? No. 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 Figure it out fast. Oh, there it was. No. Let's take a second. Regroup. The Ursula Sea Witch is real. No. No. There we go. I don't need a left flipper. Let's move on. You know this can play GBC. Let me show you DS. Okay, so it defaults to vertical for DS, which I found interesting. At first, I'm like, are you sure about that? And then I was sure about that because it just makes sense. You can do your role-playing games or pinball or whatever, but you can just one hand. This is such a easy handheld to one hand. It's comfortable. It's not too heavy. Your finger kind of rests there to hold up the top. And then you can have your thumb to go ahead and use the D-pad. You have access to the Start Select D-pad and all the face buttons just with your thumb. So, and then you can do the touchscreen as well. So you have the bottom touchscreen access here with your thumb. So you can do the entire system, all of its functions, minus the shoulder buttons, with just your thumb, which I found delightful. I find delightful. Let's lay some bombs. Let's see, try to get out. Oh, no. Yeah, that's right. Isn't that cool, though? So this is especially going to be great, I think, for role-playing games like the Final Fantasy games or other DS role-playing games. Visual novels, great for visual novels. Now, you could force it to be horizontal, but I think this makes way more sense. Oh, yeah, and there's a fast forward there. So at this point, when you're one-handing this, and now it makes sense to me to start to use this. Pull your thumb up, use the right. If you got big hands like mine, at least, you should be able to reach okay with your first finger and do left and right. So that's cool. That's cool. I actually haven't seen a handheld do this kind of configuration like that. Kind of harkens back to those old gaming phones, like the Sony Ericssons or something from the late 2000s, right? Like that's what starts to enter my mind. Okay, so we were talking about Metroid Prime Pinball, and again, I don't know if they have Nintendo stuff on here. I think they're trying to stay away from that, looks like. Definitely no Mario. Heck yes, Final Fantasy III. Ooh, Dawn of Sorrow. My favorite Castlevania for DS. Let's do that one. And we'll see if there's any other pinball games for DS. I'm sure there are. And I'm sure you know what they are. No. There we go. There it is. Neat. So when you're starting to do action games, now the one-handing doesn't quite make as much sense. So I'm going to do this. You got the spear. So now we get to use this. Which in short bursts, playing like this, ergonomics aren't terrible, but for a long session, I don't know about that. Not my first go-to. Neat. All right. Let's see if we get any pinball games here. Spider-Man. I see producer Sony pointing up. Keep going. You see something? No. Okay. It would have made sense for them to put some pinball DS games on the card here, huh? Okay, well, let's move on though. So there's kind of a look at what you can do with DS. What else do you want to see? You want to see Vita? This blew my mind yesterday. We were playing Vita. So I have a correction for myself, too. So they loaded on Dragon Crown on here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're talking about Java games? Totally. You could play some good Java games in here. Do some J2ME. Yes, absolutely. Like, what is that? Doom RPG? Yeah. Hell yeah. Good idea. They got Dragon's Crown on here. And yesterday I was like, this is a no-go. Well, it's just the menus in the game that are laggy. Once you get into the game, it runs pretty damn well. 60 FPS, 1x resolution. What is this? Create save data? Save data? Yes. And it's going to default to the high performance mode when you launch this emulator anyways. So even last night when we were playing, it was on high performance. It's just we stopped before we got into the game on the podcast. And so we didn't see the fact that, it runs fine once you get to the gameplay. Now, other handhelds that run this game, it's not super demanding, and so we're wondering why it gets kind of laggy. Those menus aren't laggy, and maybe it's just a quirk of this game. Let me know, because this isn't one I really play. It starts to get laggy kind of right here. Nope, totally fine. I don't know what was going on. Maybe it was some sort of thing where the CPU governor wasn't ready, because now there's zero lag. So who should we be? Let's be the old guy. Dwarf. Oh, there it is. That's what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, no apparent reason, it goes very slow. I don't know why. Lag. Come on. Painful. Voices in Japanese, sure, I'll take it. So what is that, 2 FPS it drops to? And then it jumps back up. So yeah, now we're looking good. Dash. Hold down square while moving. There we go. I can't speak Japanese. Sorry. I should. I don't know why I switched to Japanese. Attack. Press square. Okay. And we saw in their marketing promotional video that they're running Dragon Crown fine, and yeah, it does once you're in there. But I bet you they didn't show the menu. Is the thing. That's not the only game though for Vita I loaded on. I don't know why it's not showing there when I rescanned the library. But by the way, there's like I was saying before, there is Play Store. GeForce Now. This is Android 12, by the way. So GeForce Now was not in the Play Store. So you might be able to sideload it, but I don't have it on here. But Artemis works fine. I also loaded Grim Valor as an Android game. So they had what looks like the standard build of Vita 3K. Let me just see what version it is, though. Vita 3K version 0.2.0 3621 build. Which, I mean, it's snappy. Again, just, I don't know why that game is slow in the menu on this handheld. Oh, no. Close that. But I put a few on here for you. So one of my favorites, 10-Second Ninja. It's a lightweight game. I think you could run something like Persona 4 Golden okay. That's another one that seems to run pretty well across lighter weight handhelds. It just has the longest intro known to man. Well, there's much longer. But. No, I missed one. There you go. Let me check out chat here. Uh, the vibration feels good. It's not overpowering. Yeah, it's not as nuanced as something like an Odin 3, but yeah, I mean, it works. It feels fine. It feels like there's two vibration points about here and about there. Also, as we're starting to push it a bit, it's not getting as warm as I expected. So if you wanted to see, this is not the most we can push it, but just checking in with the temperature. Let's see where we're at. So we got a baseline of 23.3 Celsius. The screen looking at 30, so slightly warm, but not hot. On the back, 28, 28, 28. Where the vent is, 28. So yeah, it is not warm. You don't really start to notice too much heat until you get about 31, 32 degrees Celsius. You start to notice where it gets hot around 38, 39 degrees Celsius, where it's a bit uncomfortable. Oh, here we go. Oh, we found a 32 spot. Where was that? Oh, 33. All right. So the screen is probably the warmest part of this handheld, it looks like. And it is touch, so does it have a G sensor, Pride Tunes? It has a gyroscope, if that's what you mean. I'm not sure what a G sensor is in particular. Producer Sony, let's see what we got here. Dream Pinball 3D for DS. Sure, we can go back to that. And looks like we had some starred questions. Let's just take a second. Let me get a water break. Everybody hydrate. Devil's Crush on TurboGrafx 16. Let's see if they have it. Yeah. I should have loaded that on. I did load on some of my games. I didn't think about that. Kirby Superstar Ultra would be interesting. Gamer Tower DX. Solado Robo. Let me know what systems these are for. These are some games I have not heard of. Mushihima-sama. Do you have to use Dawn Launcher? Could you run Emulation Station on this? Yeah, you can run whatever front end you want, I believe, but there's a caveat to that because you're going to run into some funky system issues when you start messing around too deep. Let me show you that next. But I think you should be able to force it and just go into the settings and then tell it to use a different home launcher. But don't hold me. Let's see, actually. Let's see if we can do that. Please run some PS2 games. Yes, so I did load some PS2 games on. And PS2 is one of the systems that really impressed me on this. So we will get into that. Absolutely. Solata Robo is for Nintendo DS. Okay, cool. So we'll head back to DS Pride Tunes. Kirby Superstar Ultra, which system is that for? That sounds like a DS game to me. It's a DS game. Cool. Okay. And Mushi Himasama. It's a shmup. Vertical shmup. PS2 game? Is that right? And Nintendo Switch and PC. I don't think we're going to be doing Switch on here. I wouldn't go into that, and I don't have it for PS2, so I don't know if we'll be looking at that one today. Oh, it's on Steam too. 65% off for that winter sale right now. That's cool. All right. Let me show you something, though. It's just cool that we can do Vita. So when you dive into the settings, oh, right, one other thing I was going to show you. Game Switcher. This is something that I've become accustomed to on Onion OS and other firmwares, and it's cool that they have this built in here. So if you turn that on when you back out of a game, so press the home button or hold the home button, And you got this game switcher, so it's going to be your recently played games, which is awesome. With the box art and everything, you got the box and the game screenshot. I love that. And you can just switch between your favorites, so you're not navigating an entire library all the time. What a cool feature. Now, I'm pretty sure this is on all of their handhelds with Dawn Launcher. It's just, I discovered it today. So I'm like, oh, yes. No, so hold B again if you want to back out of that game launcher and get to this menu. But I will be using that feature. They also have in the chosen section lists. So you have your favorite games you can star. You have your recent, last played, all games. And this is a place where you could probably go in. Maybe they let you customize to do some, maybe, here's all the shmup games. Here's all the whatever playlist you want to do. As far as emulators they have built on as well, they have Azahar. That's, like I said, MMJR2, Dolphin for handheld, Duck Station, Drastic, Flycast. Gamehub. We'll talk about that. Melon DS N64. Might as well do Game Tester. There's so many things to show you guys. I can never fit this into just 1 hour, can I? There's just too much. Look at that Deadzone. Looking good for those dead zones. Yeah. Okay. RetroArch, Redream, Yaba, Open Bore, so Nether SX2 on here as well. Nope. Yep. Looks like we're looking at Nether SX2 version 2, the 3668 build, which makes sense. That's going to be the build you want to use on lower end devices. 4248 version is what you want to use on something like an Odin or a Retroid higher end device. We'll come back to PS2. But what I wanted to show you is when you go into the system settings, things start to go a little bit off the rails. For instance, I wanted to go in here and see all the apps, everything. Not just what was in Dawn Launcher, like hidden apps and everything. I go here, I get system is stopped. I tried every which way to get in here and it just crashes. Likewise, if you want to go ahead and change the time zone, could not get that to work either. Where is that? Where did I put the time? Where's the time? Who has the time? I think it's in system. Yeah. So date and time, it's stuck in Greenwich Sandwich Mean Time. Region United States, sure, but I want to get Pacific. And it just bounces me back. I can't seem to change that. Change the region. Nope, bounces me back. So that's another weirdness. Another thing is when I connected this to my computer to try to transfer games onto this, it doesn't come up. And I even enabled developer mode to force it to have, MTP or whatever it is, the protocol to transfer games over. And that was a no-go. So you just have to pop the SD card out and just transfer that way, which is fine. But it's a nice convenience that we don't have here. The other funky thing was, like I was saying, in the Play Store. So if you switch this to, if you want to save battery life, and by the way, look how good we're doing on battery life, everybody. We are over an hour into the stream, hour and 10 minutes. We started at 100%. We have lost 4% battery and we have Wi-Fi on, and we're in high performance mode almost the whole time. Really nice, efficient battery life on the G85 chip here. So that's cool. But if you want even more battery life, you could put it into power save mode. And I believe this might be just a RAM thing, but if you want to go into Google Play, which can be a bit RAM intensive, and you start navigating around, it might not do it now, but earlier when I was doing it, it would just start crashing after a minute or two of navigating around in here. But if I switched it to the other two modes, yeah, it was fine. So some combination of RAM and power save mode it doesn't like. And 4 gigs of RAM in 2025 is tough. But it'll get you there. I think for this handheld, I think it's fine. The 3 gig model, I would recommend spending whatever $10, $20, whatever the difference might be, to go ahead and get the 4 gig model. Really, 4 gigs should be the baseline. I wouldn't go over that, under that, if you have the chance, especially with RAM prices now. Like, get all the RAM you can for what you have. Right. It looks like it's actually stable okay right now. But that was my experience earlier. Speaking of Android games, though, the only one I loaded on today is Grim Valor. One of my absolute favorites. I don't detect any latency, and that's always a question on Android handhelds. So it's just smooth. It's responsive. The buttons feel good. The D-pad pivot feels nice on this thing. Yeah, the controls, it just doesn't, it's a nice pocketable device. It doesn't get too hot, and it's one you could just pop out at the coffee shop, on a train, whatever, and just kind of be nondescript and just play a few games. It almost looks like a cell phone anyways, especially if you're playing it like this. If you're somebody who's self-conscious about playing a game system in front of people. I think you should own it. I think you should be proud. A proud gamer. Ow. So it's teaching you here to do a light jump, by the way. Just doop. There you go. Game loud and proud. So yeah. It's not going to play every Android game. And it's Android 12, so you're going to have some compatibility issues where you're going to be limited. But it's going to play a wide range of stuff regardless. Just not the latest, greatest. What were we going to do? With a couple things, right? We were going to do PS2. Oh, Mind Reader produced for Sony. Hey, look at that. Somebody asked for Saturn in the Discord, too. I can tell you my experience with Saturn. It works. Everything was working fine for me. I played both 2D and 3D Saturn games, and there was no slowdown. I got 60 FPS on pretty much every game on here. I didn't play all of them, though. I played maybe 5 or 6. I spent the most time in Virtual On, which is a pretty intensive 3D game, and that was running really well. I don't think we need to spend time in that today. PSP as well. PSP is such an efficient emulator, PPSSPP, that we should be okay, but if we have time, we could look at that. PS2 is where it starts to get interesting, and we start to bump up against some of the limits, and GameCube even more so. Let's take a look at some Crash Bandicoot. Sony, you're saying MAME? Dream Pinball is in MAME? Or you mean to go back to MAME? Dream Pinball is not on this card? Okay. Well, all right. We have an opportunity to play some more, though. I expect to see this as a comparison in the upcoming, Ioneo Air Mini live stream. We're going to be doing that with Rob the Retro Tech Dad and Andrew and Ban either tomorrow or the day after. So maybe I could fit in some more. This is running at 1x, and I want to say it's Vulkan. Yeah, Vulkan Render 1X. Looks like we have an underclock of 3. And how they have it tweaked here is perfection. I can't say that I could get much more out of this. So I got to commend them for spending the time to really optimize all the emulators they chose to feature on here. This is definitely tailored. And you do not always see that at all. So let's see, does it have my game from earlier? It just means, yeah, if you're somebody who's not real tech enthusiast, you don't know what you're doing with this stuff, give it to a relative. They should be able to, if the game card's with it, just turn it on, use it, play with it. Guess not. All right. Well, let's do new game. Ow. Can I go in here? Let's get the sound for you guys. How's live chat doing? $85 to $89 for the Swiss Army knife of retro handhelds. Yes, please sign me up. Yeah, isn't this okay? Again, I hate to be too stoked on anything these days. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're a YouTube shill, you're a mouthpiece for these companies, and all that." It's like I don't even care to defend us anymore about anything. It's like, hey, I know we're good people. I know that we're telling our truths and all. If we like something, we like it. We're all different people on our team too. We like what we like. We don't like what we don't like. We don't get along with each other or agree on certain things. You like something, I like another thing. Point being is this is absolutely a damn steal, under $100 for what performance you're getting in this little package, and it's awesome. And I think it's neat. I really do think it's neat. So call me a shill. I really like this one. Rant over. Nah, it just gets annoying seeing that every day. It's the same conversation everywhere. It's, YouTubers. Yeah, there are some maybe some iffy channels, but I don't know. We're just people. Okay, so yeah, PS2 is just a delight on here, though. Look at that. I wouldn't push it past native res, though. Let's try something harder to emulate. What do you want to see? Oh, okay. So here's one I loaded on, by the way, because I'm sure they curate all the games in here. They curate. Okay, we know these games are going to run well. So I try to put on some games that maybe won't run well. Sly 3 can be a pain. Yeah, I thought the RP6 review units were shipping out this week, and I thought I had tracking for mine, but it ended up being a RP Classic order that I have for an AliExpress thing. So, yeah, I talked to David today at Retroid, and he said that review units are going to be shipping on the 10th. So that means next week. Wait, what is that? Yeah, the very end of next week, we're going to start to see review units going out. And retail orders are shipping mid-month January for the RP6. So it's a real dang short time frame between reviews and orders going out when you can cancel. I hate that they do that. I really do. I wish they gave a little more time for people to evaluate if they want to keep their orders. It's going to be tough. We'll be coming back from CES, and pretty much it's like, hey, I'm just going to hop on a live stream the second it gets here. Let you guys know the thoughts, good, bad, whatever. I have a good feeling it's gonna be damn good. Okay, I'm sure it's gonna be good. But what issues or what gotchas are there gonna be? That's always the thing on a Retroid launch. Seems like there's always like something people latch onto, even if it's not really an issue objectively speaking. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I know. I thought we'd see it in action too. Yeah, it's a weird, quirky little handheld, huh? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no problem, Mike. So Sly 3, here's an example of a game that's tough to run that's not happy at 1x. We're getting, you can hear the audio stutter, I'm sure, but we're getting about 66% speed. So things you can do with this Nether SX2 build, you can under-res, which you can either go that route or you can start to get real hacky with the CPU under, what do you call it? The underclocking stuff. That gets a little wonky to me, so I'm gonna try the under-res 0.75 under-res. We're still not quite there. There's a point where you under-res so much where it just looks so blurry, it's not really worth it. So you accept that some games are not going to run for PS2, which absolutely is the case here. Some PS2 runs, not all. So here's 0.5, and we're still not able to hit full. So like I said, you can start to get hacky. You can maybe do a 75% EE cycle rate. And a GPU palette conversion like PrideTunes is saying yes. Where was that? Was that that's under, where was that? Load texture replacements. So the advanced settings, you can start really poking around. There it is, GPU palette conversion. And there you go. You can hear that it's running a bit better. Well, no, hold on. Let's put this back. Let's just stick with the under-res and GPU palette. And it's just, yeah. This game is just not really playable on this. That's all it is. So some PS2. So my Gamehub experience, great idea bringing me back around to that. Gamehub is a no-go in so many words. This is the latest build. I'm sure we could try Gamehub Lite. I'm sure we could configure Winlator and be really careful about how we set everything up. Use GOG games to further help compatibility. But I tried different, different Proton settings, different options on Silksong and Cuphead, which are my two test games generally for Gamehub, because they run so easy on almost everything. Lower end Emmerich devices, even, it works. Neither one of these, I get nothing out of them. So to me, that's telling that Gamehub is going to be problematic on here. It's a pretty small screen to want to do Gamehub to begin with, but it would be really cool if we could, right? And maybe we can. But so far, my 2 test games are telling me no. When I've spent more time on this for handhelds where these 2 games don't work, I've not had any better results as I go down the line. So that's just my quick. I'll be interested to see how you all. Now you're probably starting to receive these if you pre-ordered. These should be landing on doorsteps now, over this week, over the next week. So go to town. I'd love to see if we could get some Gamehub working on this. But the chip's a bit tough. It's a bit tough, it seems like. You can look at things like compatibility, and it'll tell you, like, oh, there's perfect compatibility with this chip. And here it says, unknown. We don't know what the hell is going on. All right. Cool. GameCube, similar to PS2, but I would say a little bit worse. Oh, hey, what's up, Zoo from Zoo Reviews? Dude, we're going to be sharing a beer at the barcade next week, man. It's going to be cool. I already got my butt rock playlist ready for you. But you know what I'm also going to be playing? You know what? You know who I'm getting into now? I'm getting into Roy Orbison, of all people. What an angelic voice. So producer Sony and I were talking about that before the show today. It's like, I'm just starting to get into some of these older acts, like The Band. If you're listening to The Band, we got to get The Band on the playlist. The Band. Such a good band. Roy Orbison, Traveling Wilburys, like, all those projects. Such a superstar lineup there. All right. Alien Hominid. So here's an example of a GameCube game that runs well. Zoo, you will be upset by them. Oh, you have several t-shirts. No! As you can see, I've been under-resing on here. Foreshadowing for when we get to F-Zero. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. One moment. My dog is barking. All right. Zoe says, let me in. I'm done playing outside. So, okay. Okay, Zoe. While we're looking at the menu too, so you get your Bluetooth toggle there. You get these toggles, rotation, CPU. You get to switch between Xbox and retro mode. And I like that you have night light as well as the extra dim option, which if you're playing in bed, if you're not using the shoulder buttons anyways, excellent handheld, I think, to play in bed. It gets real nice and dim, pretty much turns off. And then equally, it does get nice and bright, but shoulder buttons are pretty loud, so just don't use those at all. So here's an example of a GameCube game. The 2D lightweight GameCube games should be okay. And we're running this at full res. We don't need to under res. But most of the 3D games I found, you're going to be under resing a little bit. So by default, they have this set at a 0.9 under res. which makes sense because that's about what you need to do for a lot of the games they've loaded on here. Sonic Riders, Soul Calibur, Shadow the Hedgehog. So I went ahead and loaded on something to throw it for a loop. Pun intended. F-Zero GX is a tough one, and it is not happy with this game. And it gets real warm now. So let's do that temperature check, huh? Not hot. Still not hot. 35 degrees is not going to burn you. But this game is about the hottest I could get it to go. 35 degrees Celsius. And yeah, so we're at native res right now. We're hitting about 15 FPS. For a moment, you get those moments where it hits 100% speed. Chemical Burrito. Handheld's not hot. Never hot. Yeah. No, this one doesn't ever really get hot. Just, it can get warm. But it's not bothersome warm, you know, like the Trim UI brick. When I first got that one, I'm like, oh, this gets a little toasty. Or my first 40XX-H, I think it was. Like that one got pretty toasty, but in my review unit for the RGDS also, but this is more on the comfortable side of warm. So we're doing okay. You can see that it's dipping and it's. I'm gonna turn up the volume. If you don't have the volume on, it's almost playable, right? But you hear the volume, you're like, oh no. Let's get that on. Here you go. So what you got to do here is go in there. You're going to be stepping it all the way down to 0.3x resolution. Mess around with these settings here. And even still, that sounds horrific. Even still, we're not able to hit full speed. So you can get a bit more out of it. But it's kind of a blurry mess at that point. So we're landing with some GameCube, some PS2. Which are bonus systems on this. I don't think that's really going to be the main use case. Like role-playing games, I think that's going to be good. So as we start to wrap up here, people wanted to see one more round of DS, right? Sure. Oh, 3DS works too. I almost can't believe I almost forgot 3DS. Donkey Kong Country 3D. I'll just skip over that. It's a mess. Doesn't run that well. You can get real hacky with it, and it runs okay. But middle of the line game, like Alien Chaos 3D, one of my favorites. Lighter weight 3DS games, absolutely seem to be okay on here. Which was a surprise. I was not expecting that. They're using Azahar, I think Azahar Plus or just Azahar. Now, this one, they're not defaulting to a vertical. So they're just doing a, big screen up top, little tiny screen down below. So you might want to mess with this to get it more to your liking. But surprisingly, well, let's let the shaders cache here. But surprisingly, straight at the gate, it's pretty playable. Not perfect. Ha! Yeah, this is Andrew's favorite game. Ha! I love it. It's just dopamine fueled fun the whole way through. It's just a great arcadey game. So yeah, you're gonna be able to start tweaking with some. It's gonna play 3DS seemingly better than the RGDS. So you're already winning there for less money, a little bit less money than the RGDS. That's cool. I saw multiple asks about DS one more time. So let's do that, and then we're gonna get out of here. Okay. Okie dokie. And N64 should do just fine. And Naomi and yeah, and PSP. I'm not worried about PSP. What were the okay? Let me see. What do we got started up here? No Nintendo games and no Mushima-sama Solo Roboto. Yeah, if we have it, let's see. Let's see. Pride Tunes. Did you see that on here? No, I don't see that one. Next time. Oh, right. We were going to try that. Yeah. Sorry. ADHD. Box sound. Yeah. So let's just do that real quick. I got distracted. That does happen. That do be facts, though. All right. Default apps. So yeah, it looks like you can change from Dawn to Quick Step. And there you go. This means these, yes, you could use another, you could use Emulation Station as your home launcher. You could use Console Launcher. Let's see. You could use actual Daigisho if you wanted. Yeah, that's a pleasant background. Nice. Sonic Rush. Yeah. Oh, for the desync. Yeah. Oh, good freaking call. Yeah. Okay. Oh no. I'm touching things too fast. What she said. Where'd Dawn go? There it is. Sonic. Yeah. Not that I expect any desync because it's the same screen, but you know, hey. Google search bar works? Oh, you mean in Android? I imagine so. I mean, it's going to be a little crowded, but yeah, Google Play stuff. Yeah, it's working. You're buying this one. I figured, Pride I figured you would have bought this already, man. Oh, hold on. I got to focus for a second. I keep pushing the wrong buttons. Okay, let's get the sound on. Let's do it. Okay, this is awesome. Yeah, I think I did not expect or even think that Nintendo DS would be a highlight on this thing, but it totally is. Except for that's a little wonky. That looks a little funny, doesn't it? It's not. You know what you are? You're missing some pixels, right? I guess that's what you get for playing it all on one screen and not having a dual screen. Oh yeah. DS games have extended screens, so you expect a gap there. Okay, that's why it looks a little funky. But yeah, man, it's fun. I never thought to one-hand a DS before, but it's fun to one-hand a DS. Well, what about Nope. Hold on. No. What about a role-playing game? I wanted to kind of highlight that. Or something. A Golden Sun. Zero40 does this better. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the Zero40 is intended for that use case. But what a surprise bonus. Obviously they thought of that because it defaults to this vertical layout when you launch DS. Sure. Yeah. So just imagine you're kicking back. You're hanging out. I don't know. A lot of us are parents out there. So you're taking care of the little ones. You're feeding or doing whatever. And if you got a hand free, you're looking at your phone, you're doom scrolling. Well, instead of doom scrolling, you could be playing Doom or a role-playing game and making progress in something. You know what I mean? Put your dopamine to the right use. Or at least something that feels like you're accomplishing something. And yeah, so you could play a role-playing game. Enjoy. All right, let's get out of here, everybody. Well, what did you think? MagicX, I think they've brought a strong contender into this is hitting multiple brackets. This is hitting the touching on DS. It's hitting with the GBA crowd with the 3:2 aspect ratio. It's hitting on the TATE mode and vertical and pinball people, with all it can do there and its use case of switching between vertical and horizontal. It also is admirable at doing some PS2, some GameCube, some Vita, some 3DS, and it's doing Android games, and it even can do some streaming if you wanted to. Not Gamehub, maybe not. Speakers, sure, that's a downside. But it's pretty compelling as an all-in-one for under $100. I am impressed with this, and yeah, I mean, wait for more reviews. Okay, go watch all the other reviews, all of them. Don't just watch one review ever and be like, "Oh, that's the one." Someone's gonna find something different, or get variety. But so far, I love it. That's where I'm at with it. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts, comments below. What else do you want to see? We're going to be showing this again in the Air Mini live stream. Maybe we could look at a few more things. And I'm sure Zoo will be making a video on this at some point on our channel, dedicated review video. And I'm going to be playing with this and kind of giving you my follow-up thoughts over time. And yeah, I bought the blue one, so the retail model. I can't wait to play with that. And that'll probably be my keeper. And I like the black's okay. It's sleek. It's professional looking. Okay. But I think the blue looks really cool, or the gray. So if you want to pick this up, it is available in the description, which is an affiliate link. And I think we get like 3 or 5% commission or something. So it's no extra cost to you, and it helps the channel, helps us build what we're doing here. And we like to just generally buy devices instead of getting review units these days as much as possible. Like, we're not accepting review units generally from Ioneo right now. We're like, nah, we'll just buy it from a third-party shop or accept, units from them. So it helps the channel and helps us do what we're doing. So you can pick it up $85 before shipping, currently on their early bird sale. It's going to hop up a bit pretty soon here. So you can get it with the SD card or not. There's going to be a price difference of about, I don't know, $25, $30. They're upcharging if you want all the games in there. $20. Yeah, $20. The 4 gig model is all they have available. That's the only model I recommend anyways. And yeah, it seems like they're doing well with shipping. Everyone's orders are going out timely. MagicX has been pretty consistent as far as this goes, but it has been a long road to get to the 135 release. So people have been anxiously waiting for this in the community, wondering when it's coming. There were delays along the way and all that. But now that it's here, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. So that's where I'm at with it. Also, battery life was another huge thing that impressed me on this. I mean, let's see where we're at. So we started the stream at 100% battery, right? So here's where we're at. After all that testing, we're at 88%. And almost 2 hours. Hour and 45 minutes, 88%. Bunch of high-end testing. We're pushing, poking, prodding. And yeah, not bad. A couple of things, though. Those software bugs were kind of annoying. So I want to see fixes. I've already let them know. People pinged the devs I saw in our Discord channel when I was reporting those earlier. So let's get some eyeballs on those little quirks, like when TATE mode buttons are being enabled for GBA by default. What's up with that? We at least need to be able to turn that off. I couldn't figure out how to disable that manually for that. And things like crashing in the OS when you try to go into, the system settings too deep and you start changing things with the time zone and whatnot. But these are things that can be fixed in software, and I'm not overly concerned about that at this point. These are pre-production units going out right now. First iteration of the software. But we have to evaluate for what the handheld is right now. And so those things are annoying. But there's enough charm and everything that I can see where this is going to be at. And I'm still having fun with it. So, yeah. Yeah, awesome battery life. Good call. Good stuff. $20 extra for the device to come with. Iron pyrites? Yeah, thanks everybody for sticking around for the stream. I am going to go take my Dayquil. I feel awful, but I'm glad we got to have fun together, and I wanted to talk about this straight away because last night on the podcast when we unboxed it, I'm like, this is something different. This is something cool. So stay tuned. We got the Air mini stream coming up. This probably you're going to see this Thursday at the latest. We're all going to talk about that. I'm late to the game in getting this. So you've all watched reviews on this, I bet, by now, but I want to share my thoughts, and it's pretty neat looking. Pretty neat. Alternatives, of course, in this price. MAME Air X absolutely destroys so many other handhelds in this price, especially with its Snapdragon chip. This one here was sent. Where was it sent? The TrimUI. No. Sorry, Ampone Store. The Ampone Store sent this. Also Ampone Store. I got the Zero40 here today. So I'm going to add the link for this one. There should be a link for that one. I'll add some new AliExpress discount codes because I'll be getting refreshed codes on the 1st. So like Stubbs 5, Stubbs 10, Stubbs 15. They've made it out of my name for some reason. But there's going to be a bunch of new discount codes for AliExpress's January sales. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts. All right, everybody. I need to go eat some food. I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have an awesome rest of your night, day, whatever you might be doing. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share to stay in the know for all of your favorite retro handhelds. And a special thanks once again to our channel members, our patrons, and our subs who make everything possible here for us. Perks with RH start for as little as $3 per month. Join us in our Discord to chat and play games, and join me on the podcast this coming Monday with producer Sony and the rest of our crew. I'm sorry, no, we're going to be at CES this Monday. That's right. We're going to be having a special podcast episode probably on Thursday, so stay tuned for that. Thursday, maybe Friday release for that. But normally, yeah, we're live streaming Mondays, and we're going to be back for season 6, end of January, beginning of February. A little bit of a break, and then we'll get back into it. Yeah, until then, this is Stubbs on behalf of producer Sony and you all out there saying take care of your handhelds and take care of each other.